Hey, and welcome to another episode of Just Another Effing Podcast. I am your host. He drinks a whiskey drink. He drinks a vodka drink. He drinks a lager drink. He drinks a cider drink. He's the JFB, James from Boston.
And I am your patron saint of professional wrestling. I am Fruit Cat's dad. I'm Canada Dry, damn it.
Yeah, Fruit Cat, always in the house.
Yep, Fruit Cat.
So let's get to some. I got two dogs, and they are a big pain in the ass all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Fruit Cat, aka Nightwing, is a pain in the ass as well.
Yeah, but they are our mascots of Just Another Effing Podcast. So let's get to some news. We'll save the big one for last because it just broke today. AEW outselling the WWE at the UBS Arena in Belmont, New York. The big shiny new toy is selling more tickets than the old broken down one that needs to be repaired.
Oh yeah, okay.
Awesome Kong is going to be inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame. Long time coming. She announced her retirement at their last pay-per-view. She had a great career. It's good to see her getting some recognition from Impact, where she did most of her wrestling.
Now, do they have a physical Hall of Fame, or are they like WWE?
Like WWE. It's virtual, if you will. It exists in the ether.
It's in the cloud. It's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud. Car Shield. Those people who annoyingly call you about your warranty have started pausing the Ric Flair commercials because of Dark Side of the Ring. I've watched it. Canada Dry, you've watched it. Are you surprised at all by this?
No, I'm not surprised. And guess who's on the show?
Fruit Cat.
He's making an appearance. He wants to step on the but yeah. Ric Flair. It really screwed us over too, because we were giving away a Ric Flair action figure.
That is true. This threw a monkey wrench. We'll talk about that at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Also, fallout from the Dark Side of the Ring episode. Tommy Dreamer has been suspended indefinitely by Impact. Not only is he on-air talent, he also works behind the scenes as well. He was informed that he will be, in fact, suspended indefinitely because of his comments.
He released an apology yesterday. He
did release an apology yesterday. That's true. Who knows how long this is going to stick?
But releasing an apology after you get suspended is kind of like, yeah, sure you are.
Yeah, it's to cover your ass. CYA, always cover your ass.
Yeah.
The G1 Climax has started. Actually, it's day 3 that happened today. That is New Japan Pro Wrestling's big, huge month-long tournament to determine who is going to take on Shingo for the supposedly IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, Ospreay keeps insisting he's the champion, so that should be interesting nonetheless.
Interesting.
Huh?
It is super interesting.
Yeah, it is. I like the fact of the two supposed champions.
Yeah, like who's the real champ? Like it's cool. I love stuff like that.
Maybe they'll settle it before Wrestle Kingdom.
Maybe they'll settle it at WrestleMania. No.
Christopher Daniels it was seen backstage at Impact tapings in Nashville. Of course, the last time we saw him was in May, where him and Kazarian lost to the Young Bucks, and they were forced to not wrestle together again. He's had a little bit more backstage presence at AEW, but he's been seen at Impact, so there's a good chance we may see the Archangel, Christopher Daniels, wrestle for Impact. It
won't be like a run or anything. I think it'll be like a one-off or a two-off kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't see him. I mean, there was talk of retirement in May, and of course, we haven't seen him on live TV in quite some time. So, Ricky Starks, friend of the show, Dally's favorite wrestler in AEW.
One of them.
Yeah, one of like 100,000.
One of his many future husbands.
Many future husbands for Dallas. Talks about CM Punk being a morale booster backstage. That's good news. He can be very persnickety at times. He loves trolling. CM Punk sometimes is abrasive, so it's good to hear that he's being positive role model for the guys in the back. The final, yeah.
Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, I think I'm all right. But with CM Punk, I was just gonna say I think it was kind of a symptom of where he was at in his WWE career.
Yeah.
When he was an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you're injured and constantly being ignored.
Like you're dealing with this, you're having to tolerate all this bullshit from the company, and you're working how many days a year? Like it's a little much.
Yeah, absolutely. So the big news that we saved for last.
Wait, before you go into that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the 5-star street fight last night.
That's right. 5-star street match. The street match for the Shine Nova title. Friend of the show, Natalia Markova, took on friend of the show, the Woad, in a 5-star OCC street match. It was 5 stars. You say better than I do. Who takes an ass kicking?
No one can take a beating. Oh, sorry. No one can take an ass kicking.
Yeah.
Like Natalia Markova.
Nobody.
Wow. Like, you never see women take that kind of abuse.
Oh no. It was from bell to bell. It was absolutely murder and mayhem.
I congratulated her after the match, and I was like, and are you okay? Because I was really legit worried about her after that.
Yeah.
Like the is it called a spirit bomb when you throw it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the spirit bomb from the top rope to the table. Like, that looked brutal.
Oh, that made my back hurt. that made me go, oh.
And then the ass to the face into the table. Like, holy.
Yeah.
Like, and she was bleeding from the keyboard shot.
Yeah.
But congratulations to both of them.
Yeah.
On that was a world-class match.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You could have had that in New Japan. You could have had that in AEW, WWE.
Yeah.
You could have had that anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
But the crowd was hot.
The crowd was immensely hot for that match. Absolutely. All I gotta say is this: it's $14.99 in the States. It's Shine 68, I think it was. Yeah, 68. Yeah. On the Fight Network. So download it, pay the $14.99 or $15, or $20 if you're up in Canada. And
just a message to all you promotions out there. Sign Natalia Markova. This is what you're getting with her. You're getting a 5-star match deliverer.
Yeah, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. So last bit of news, it broke today. We talked about it about a month or two ago. AEW trademarking the term King of Hearts. It broke out today that AEW and Owen Hart Foundation are teaming up to honor Owen Hart. It's going to include an annual tournament called the Owen Hart Cup Tournament, which the winner wins a cup known as the Owen. And that's the important part. You got to name it after the guy who you're doing it for. This will also include
right here, Owen.
Yeah, and it's going to include Owen merchandise and his possibly an appearance on the new console video game. I don't know if it's going to be him or the tournament, but somehow they're going to put it in the
I'm believing it's him in the game.
Yeah.
What's beautiful about this deal, about him being all elite, is it's centered around the Owen Hart Foundation.
Absolutely.
And I don't think AEW is going to be making any money off this.
No.
I think this is purely to help people and to it's just beautiful.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with the Owen Hart Foundation, Definitely go online, look it up. They do great work in the community in Canada, all in Owen Hart's name. He was a big fan of kids, and this really helps the community at large. Yeah, it's good that he's getting this recognition, because he's not going to get that recognition from WWE, which is a shame.
It also brings the Owen Hart Foundation to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And it's going to put more eyes, which means more money, which means more good. And that's
like not only is it getting all these endorsement deals from AEW.
Yeah,
it's also getting national TV coverage.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the United States. And know what I'm excited for? And
what's
they
that?
Just confirmed it as well. An AEW Owen Hart action figure.
That's going to be even better. I have a feeling that's going to make one of our monthly giveaways. Will be the Owen Hart.
That is a day one buy for me.
Yeah, we're definitely getting one for Canada Dry. It's just awesome. It's awesome that Owen is still being talked about. He's still in the forefront. People still, and for the new fans who never got to see him live, hopefully they'll have a really great package put together, especially his New Japan stuff. And you can really see, honestly, what a great wrestler he was. And Martha, a great wife and a great mother to two amazing kids, and she's running the foundation. So I'm glad. I'm stoked.
Who do you see winning this tournament?
I don't know.
What an honor.
Yeah.
To win this tournament, for the person to win it, like, huge.
Yeah. It would have to be somebody, I think, that exemplifies everything that Owen Hart stood for, as a competitor, as an athlete, and as a wrestler. Honestly,
maybe Pillman or Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy would be great. I mean, he's a small guy like Owen was. He's a high flyer. He's technical, which Owen was too. Maybe Sammy. I think Sammy Guevara would be also a great addition to that.
What if Kevin Steen is all elite and wins the tournament?
He named his kid after Owen Hart. So yeah, if he became all elite and was in that tournament, that would be amazing to see Kevin Steen win that tournament as well.
And not to mention, we talked about this before, mending a bridge between Martha and Brett.
Yeah, that's going to be huge.
We're praying on this one that's what this does.
Yeah,
to mend the troubled water between the two.
Yeah, I totally agree. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. You can see it down below there. Episode 30. That's right. We've done 30 episodes. Heels make the world more chaotic.
We're not talking about the TV show, folks.
Yeah, we're not talking about the TV show. We're talking about legit heels, because they have a special place in the hearts and minds, okay, of wrestling fans all over the world. They are the people you either love or love to hate. Without them, you would not have guys like Hulk Hogan. You would not have guys like you wouldn't have these baby faces at all. So my question to you: what makes a good heel?
Oh, wow. What makes a good heel? Okay, first off, I don't like these cool heels today.
Yeah.
Don't make them cool like they do with, like, say, Randy Orton, or when The Rock was a heel, making him cool.
Yeah.
You need to make them despicable, despise, horrible human beings. And that's the way you got to do it. You just got to make people hate you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, what makes a great heel is someone that gets under your skin, both as a fan and as a baby face, who needles you and needles you and needles you and pushes you and pushes you and pushes you until you finally break and you take on that heel and you beat them square in the ring, 1, 2, 3. To me, that's what makes a heel great, is that getting under your skin, and you have different kinds of heels. You have the monster heels, you have the psychological heels, you have the shit heels. But to me, that's what makes a great heel is someone who can really get down into your skin and just make you go, ugh. So we have our top 5 each. And we did a coin flip backstage, and Canada Dry, you won this week. You broke my 5 win streak of coin flips. So go with your number 5, my friend.
So my number 5 is going way off the board.
Yeah.
I just wrote a little bit piece on him on fnwrestling.com. Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
The man on the moon. What a unique individual.
Yeah.
Like he would pull pranks. You didn't know if you're in one of his happenings. It's like so funny and so uber talented.
Yeah, absolutely.
But his run in wrestling, being the world's intergender champion and just calling out women all over. Originally he tried to make this deal with Vince McMahon Sr.
Yeah.
And they didn't like it.
Yeah.
I think Vince McMahon Jr. would have been all over this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Didn't want it. And Memphis Wrestling cashed in on it.
Oh, big time.
And like made them world famous.
Yeah.
And just like Andy Kaufman, this is so, maybe you guys know what toilet paper.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He was a great heel, and especially the program he had with Jerry the King Lawler was just amazing. The Letterman show, which was a great way to promote people to come watch this match when Lawler beat the hell out of him, because at that time Lawler was a heel too, and so Lawler turned face to take on Andy Kaufman.
And at that time, wrestling still had the veil of believability.
Yeah.
And you thought this was real.
Oh, yeah. You legitimately thought this was real.
And Letterman's like, what?
The face on David Letterman is priceless. It should be on a poster. That's the reaction you should get legitimately.
Yeah.
So my number 5, I'm going to the country of the rising sun, one of the great heels from Japan, the great Muta. Now there are 2 personas. You have Kaiji Muto, who was a baby face, sometimes a heel, but mostly a baby face in his run in Japan. But when he put on the makeup and he spit out that green poison mist, he turned into the great Muta. He was a supernatural character. If you ever want to see some of the best entrances of all time, check out his entrances, especially the entrance with the genie entrance.
I'm just going to interrupt you quickly. We got Scott Cater watching. We got Joseph Graham watching.
All right.
We got Brick City L is watching.
Yeah, Brick City L, my boy. Louis.
Brick City L will be on our Wednesday night pre-Dynamite show.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching, guys. I'll just be keeping track of your questions if you have anything to talk about here.
So he had these great entrances. He was spit green mist in his opponent's faces. But what made him such a great heel is he had this infamous match with Hiroshi Hase. It was so bloody, and is considered still to this day to be one of the bloodiest matches in Japan. It created the Muta scale, which is a scale from 0.0 to 1.0 on how vicious, violent, and bloody a match is. And this was one of the first 1.0. And every blood match after this has been compared to that match. That is my number 5, the Great Muta. Number 4.
Well, let me just comment quickly on Great Muta.
Yeah.
Like, that guy was unbelievable. And just like, even today, if you haven't even watched one of his matches, you know who he is.
Oh, yeah. He still wrestles. He is actually a champion in several different promotions in Japan. That's how legit this guy is.
Everyone knows who the Great Muta is if you watch professional wrestling.
Yep.
Household name.
Absolutely. And a horrible heel, a great heel, but he was great at doing it. But man, he got under people's skin. He was the NWA World Champion as well, so we can't forget that. So who is your numero 4?
He's young in his career.
Yeah.
But he's already done it better than most heels today.
Yeah.
MJF.
Woo!
You got I'm better than you, and you know it. Wow, like this guy has skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Based on his heel work, the turn on Cody, just like he just drops bombs. I was surprised with the meth comment on on Brian Pillman's mom. I'm just like, I can't believe they're letting him say this.
Yeah. MJF is probably one of the best working heels right now in wrestling. And the fact that he could leave AEW today, go to WWE tomorrow, and still be the same heel and still get that mega heat. That is how good this guy is at what he does. And, he lives the gimmick, apparently, at least in person. He lives that gimmick of being a heel.
That's our slogan, live the gimmick.
Yeah, that's our slogan. That's a way of life for us.
But the only thing I would really say that MJF has against him is that he's in this era.
Yeah.
And when you're a good heel in this era,
you're
getting compliments on being a good heel.
Yeah.
Like, no, that shouldn't be happening. We're all freaking insiders now. So
he's a 70s heel in a 2021 body, for sure. Absolutely. My number 4, I went a little bit old school on this one. When I was making this list, I wanted to really stick to guys that for the most part were heels from the day they started to the day they ended. They played the heel perfectly. And that was a huge point for me in my list. Most of them cross that line and they're tweeners and, they're face and then they're heel and then they're face and heel. Ravishing Rick Rude was a heel. He was a man's heel. He was villainous. He was vicious. In the heyday, he was the acme of being a heel. You're talking about.
Can you do the bit where he's all you slime, all you gross?
Yeah, all you gross, fat, ugly. He was just awesome.
Keep your voices down while I take my robe off.
Yeah. His saying was, every man wants to be me, every woman wants to be with me. And that is what made him so great.
So Sable stole that off of him.
Yeah, Sable did steal that off of him. And what's great is he had a little bit of psychological heel to him. He had a little bit physical heel to him. What I loved was that run that he had where he would airbrush his opponent's wives or girlfriends on his tights.
That was Jake the Snake.
Yeah. And he airbrushed them on his tights and he would sit there and do his gyrations and Bobby Heenan would take off his robe and he was just built, all the 6-pack and everything.
Do you remember Jake the Snake ripping the tights off him and he went running out of the ring?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because somebody went commando. The saying goes that bad times never last, but bad guys do. And for Rick Rude, that is cemented. He will always be known as the Ravishing Rick Rude, one of my favorite heels of all time. That is my number 4. Who is your number 3, good sir?
Speaking of that feud between Ravishing Rick Rude, and Jake the Snake. That brings me to mine, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh, there was nobody better.
Just the slow talking.
Yeah.
Just gets right down. And the funny thing is he had to talk like that because of his he had an injury when he was young.
Yep.
And had surgery there, and he just had to, and he made it work.
Yeah.
Just that sinister sort of villain.
Oh, yeah. He was psychological before psychological was really popular. The way he would work a match, the way he would work his promos, it was slow and it was methodical, like you were being hunted, like you were being slowly hunted by a predator. That's the best way I can describe Jake.
And he worked that position of getting everyone ready for Hogan.
Yeah.
And just the perfect position. And that run against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Beautiful program.
Where Ricky brought in the dragon. He had the snake.
Yep.
And just the viciousness of that as well.
Yeah. He is, I think he's a blueprint for guys like Bray Wyatt and guys like, mostly like guys like Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is very much on the same level as that Jake the Snake, with that psychological fixation, that psychological bam. My number 3, one thing besides death and taxes, ladies and gentlemen, is that every great face needs a heel, but you don't need just any heel. You have to have a monster heel. And there was nobody as monstrous as Leon White, better known as Vader Time. Big Van Vader is my number 3. He was billed at 450 pounds. The likelihood is he probably was about that weight. He would decimate opponents in his early days in WCW and in Japan. He had such a great, strong style because he did most of his work in Japan in his early days, that when he finally did come to WWE, they told him to tone it down because the boys in the back were complaining that they were afraid that he was going to legitimately hurt them. And that's how stiff some of these chest slaps and chops were. His heel run in WWE was not very good. They misused him tremendously, but his run in New Japan, his run in New Japan and WCW was exactly what a monster heel is, which is you blow through opponents like there's no tomorrow. And so good was Van Vader that when Stan Hansen punched him and shot his eye out, Leon just put the eye back into the socket and went back to wrestle the rest of the match. That's makes you a great heel.
That's what you do.
That is my number 3.
Just speaking of Vader, he legit made the Japanese people afraid of him.
Oh yeah,
when he was there, and that's something that is cool about New Japan and their culture, is that the heels, like the monster heels, the people are legit afraid that they're gonna get hurt.
Oh yeah, I mean, you look at other monster heels. Yeah, you think of other monster heels that have come after Vader. Yokozuna is a big one, or Rikishi early in his career. But Yokozuna was that he was very much a blueprint copy of Vader in his early days. And when WWE needed a monster heel, Yokozuna was there to do it, and that's a monster heel, somebody who plows through opponents and makes baby faces tremble in their sleep. That's why I went with Vader, because Vader is the architect of that monster heel. Who is your number 2? I'm curious.
My number 2. It's the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Stepping to a Slim Jim. Macho Man Savage, when he came in, he just took over.
Yeah.
He was an insta star.
Yeah.
In WWF.
Yeah.
If you remember, all the managers were fighting to get his services.
Yeah.
And he went with Miss Elizabeth, and just the coward. He was a cowardly, vain heel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like he would put Miss Elizabeth in danger and all this. Like, oh man, I can't even compare him to anyone at all. Because he's so unique, right? Because he's the high flyer, he's the brutal. Like, again, mentioning Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah.
When he smashed the bell on Ricky Steamboat,
yeah,
the ring bell. Like, That was crazy. Like, just vicious. No one like he's up there in the top heels. Yeah.
I mean, he to me was probably one of the best. You know, he was at least a good tweener for sure, because his face run was as good as his heel run, but he always seemed more comfortable as a heel than he did as a baby face. He is again, he was a great heel because he was a great wrestler. He could back up that stuff with his wrestling. He could back up what he was saying with his wrestling. And that's huge, which is what you don't get.
And you get that Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man turn, and they had that great run there up to WrestleMania. That was awesome.
Yep, absolutely. Well, my number 2 is probably one that I am well known for loving. So much so I named my car after him. There are a few people that you can call the Kingmaker, and Roderick Toombs was that man, and he was the greatest at doing it of all time. He is, of course, known as Roddy Piper. Yes. And you know, Piper had some he was the total package. I mean, you're talking about, you know, he was great on the mic. He was not really that bad as a wrestler. He was a decent technical wrestler. But he made some of these baby faces. You know, he made Hogan. You know, he made Paul Orndorff, and when Orndorff was a baby face. You know, the fact is that you can give the credit to Hulk Hogan and Vincent Kennedy McMahon, but Piper deserves to be in that conversation, and just as much credit for the wrestling boom of the 80s. You know, now before his run in WWE, he had matches with the Guerreros, who were over in Texas. Ric Flair, obviously, he had a big, huge program with Ric Flair in the NWA. And then, of course, you can't forget some of the great strap matches that he had with Greg the Hammer Valentine at the very first Starrcade, which you can look up on, if you have Peacock. Go to WWE's tab, go to Starrcade, first one, 83, and watch it. You watch Greg the Hammer Valentine, who was that was
amazing. It was a prototype, and Cody and Brody Lee, they made that their prototype.
Well, and what added to his heelness was Piper's Pit. Yeah. So when there wasn't someone for him to wrestle, you had Piper's Pit, and that allowed him to go ahead and further cement himself as being the number one heel in WWE or WWF back in that day. Yeah. You know, and it kicked off the rock and roll era. It kicked off his feud with Hogan.
Scott Cater says he puts Undertaker on his list.
Yeah, I mean, Undertaker is one of my honorable mentions.
Undertaker's heel run was pretty amazing. Yeah. Interesting thing about Piper, though.
Yeah.
He was a face longer than he was a heel.
That is true. He was a face longer than he was a heel.
Like, after that, he turned face. He never went back.
He could bounce back.
Yeah,
that man could be a heel and a face all at the same time. That's how great.
And that WrestleMania match, where he was tempted to turn heel on Brett but didn't, and then it cost him the win. Yep. That was amazing. Like,
that was amazing.
Inner struggle. No, I can't, and it cost him. And that was a great bit of storytelling.
It was so awesome. Piper is amazing. I mean, I named my car Roddy Piper because that's how awesome, how much I looked up to Piper as a kid, and even to this day, you know, and his passing 6 years ago was hard. It was a really hard moment for me because I met him once at a bar in an airport. We both had layovers at the same time. I sat next to him and I said, "Let me buy you a beer." And we talked about just life and just talked, we talked a little wrestling.
That's really
movies.
Cool that you got to meet, like they say, don't meet your heroes.
Yeah, I got to meet mine, and he did not.
Yours, and it was cool.
Yeah, and he paid for the beer too, so I can't complain.
Oh, that's really awesome. So I originally had Chris Jericho as my number one.
Yeah,
because he did so well at going back and forth between heels.
Yes,
but bearing the news that Owen Hart is all elite.
Yes,
I have to change it and make Chris Jericho my honorable mention. Owen Hart and his run against his brother made him the top heel in the company at the time.
Yeah.
Like he went from virtually a nobody to the top heel in the company.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. Like just the brother on brother action. That sounds wrong.
That's the name of my sex tape.
My brother on brother. Oh, funny. How do we recover from that?
You left it wide open. That's what she said.
Yeah. But I just have to honor Owen Hart because just like you said, I never met him.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys that you feel
Yeah. Yeah.
You just feel like you know him.
Yeah. I mean, what made him so great was he was just he didn't take life seriously. He was a prankster at heart. He was the youngest of the Hart children. Wrestling for him was icing on the cake. I mean, he had a beautiful wife. He had 2 great kids. He had a great relationship with his brothers. Yeah, I mean, he was a much better heel with walking down the
one of my favorite. Yeah, that's so funny. And you were saying before the show, you still have your Owen 316 shirt.
I still have my Owen 316.
If you can find it for the next episode, that would be really cool.
I am going to wear it the next episode.
But one of the cool things about Owen was he would have people in every city.
Yeah.
And he'd stay at their house.
Yeah.
and just I got Fred. Like, how cool would that be to have Owen Hart stay at your house?
How awesome would it be getting a call saying, "Hey, it's Owen. Can you come and pick me up at the airport? I need to stay at your place." Of course you can. Come on in. I don't care. Just show up.
And I kind of feel connected to him in that way because I'm a cheap motherfucker.
Yeah.
And so was Owen Hart.
So am I, baby. I will stretch $1 like there is no tomorrow.
Yeah.
My number one is actually, he was a wrestler in his heyday. I wanted to make my number one on this list to be the worst of the worst when it came to be the greatest heel, and no one was as hated and reviled as Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Wow, he's making number one in another list. He was our number one manager.
He was our number one manager of all time. He had a small run in AWA as their top heel and was great at doing it, and then he got hurt. And so he became a manager and laid out the blueprint for every heel manager that ever came after. Slick, Paul Heyman, you name it. Any heel manager that has come and gone since Bobby Heenan is just paying homage to Bobby Heenan. He is absolutely one of the best.
And I usually have water here. But the amazing thing is that he was such a good heel that someone shot at him.
Yeah. Somebody took a shot at him and Nick Bockwinkel. That's how much he is legitimately.
He died because
you're a good heel when somebody pulls a gun and tries to shoot you at a wrestling event. He has the Heenan family has had Ric Flair, Andre the Giant, Adrian Adonis was a member of the family. He's a friend of the show. The Brainbusters. He had the Blackjacks, Stan Hansen. I mean, the list goes on and on. Legitimately, if you were a heel,
Flair says he would put Freddie Blassie on the list as well.
Yeah, Freddie Blassie was perfect, but you pencil that geek.
Yeah.
But plain and simple, he was destined to be the man. I mean, after he managed, He became a heel announcer with Gorilla Monsoon, and just the two of them and how they fed off each other was brilliant. I mean,
And,
you had Gorilla.
He made the heel announcer.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
And again, any heel announcer that you have, Corey Graves, I mean, any heel announcer that you have, Taz on AEW, and
Jesse the Body Ventura. Wow.
Jesse the Body Ventura, all because of Bobby the Brain Heenan and the connectness that they had with him and Gorilla. Gorilla Monsoon, who passed away as well. I mean, those two guys are probably the greatest commentators of all time. Say what you will about JR and the King, but you would not have had those guys if it wasn't for Bobby and for Gorilla Monsoon. But Bobby Heenan is my numero uno on this list. And so that locks it up. Our top 5 heels. I know we got somebody who said my top 5 heels are Vincent Kennedy McMahon, MJF, Triple H, Kevin Owens, and Chris Jericho. You can't go wrong.
Well, Vincent, there's people we left off the list who are great heels.
Yeah.
Because when you're a shitty human,
yeah,
it's kind of easier, right? It's cheating.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. when you're just a piece of crap as a human being.
That's why Ric Flair didn't make our list.
Yeah, Ric Flair did not make our list.
That's why Vince McMahon didn't make our list, because it's easier for shitty people to be heels.
You got to admit, though, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the character, taking away the human being out of the equation, is a damn great heel. You wouldn't have the heat that Stone Cold had if it wasn't for Vince McMahon, and that man made Stone Cold probably one of the best faces in wrestling. I mean, of course, the double turn at WrestleMania with Bret Hart certainly helped catapult Stone Cold. But Vince McMahon, I mean, he's out of touch, that geriatric fuck, but still, you got to admit, he's a good heel character.
Is that a t-shirt idea?
That is, I think that might be a good t-shirt.
Geriatric fuck.
Yeah, geriatric fuck.
I have a picture of Vince, kind of looks like him.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't go wrong with his list. I mean, JBL would be another one. Not so much when he was with the Acolytes, although he was a heel.
JBL was a bit of a dick too. So
he was a heel in life.
Yeah, that's why it's like, I don't like some of these people. And we had to leave Ric Flair off. You had to change him.
Yeah, I actually had him as my number 3, and I did change him to Vader because it, doesn't
feel right.
That Dark Side of the Ring episode just soured me on Ric Flair as a human being. And speaking of Ric Flair, our September giveaway, of course, was the Ric Flair action figure from Ringside Collectibles. So what we're probably going to do is we'll either do one or two things. We'll spin the wheel. If you want the Ric Flair action figure, by all means, we'll send it to you. Not a problem. If you want a t-shirt at Pro Wrestling Tees, we'll do that as well. So we'll leave it up to the winner. Let them decide if they want to take the Ric Flair action figure, if they want to go ahead and do
he's not always going to the heel die down.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, you can get the action figure, put it in the closet, wait till it all calms down.
Look, I got this.
Bring it back out, say, look what I won. It's fantastic.
Oh, man.
So you can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. All you got to do is search for Effin' Wrestling, and you'll find us. But in case you don't want to use Google to search for us, you can go to our website at effinwrestling.com and go to our social media bar.
So we have our Pro Wrestling Tees store up.
Yeah,
we got the Effin' Bat shirt up, which is it's so cool.
It is awesome.
So if you buy a shirt this month, you will get an extra spin on the wheel.
Yeah.
So we have a few people that have bought shirts this month already. So they're getting an extra spin. So they get an extra chance at winning that prize.
Yeah, we'll weight it down. So if you bought a shirt, you'll have a little bit better chance at winning the Ric Flair / Pro Wrestling Tee shirt for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So, we appreciate you guys for buying the shirts. The Wrestling with the Paranormal shirt is tits. It is awesome. The effing Batman shirt is awesome. We have another one paying tribute possibly to Owen Hart that's coming soon. And that's really a cool looking shirt. But we love putting out shirts and we love the fact that you guys are buying them and wearing them and to shows and stuff like that and spreading the word about effing wrestling. And on that note, has Hulk Hogan gone back to you, Canada Dry?
Hulk Hogan still he's a bit standoffish. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's not like I've said anything negative towards that piece of crap, Hulk Hogan. Come on the show, Hulk Hogan.
All you gotta do is come on.
We'd love to have you. So that's effing Wrestling 20.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan 0. Canada Dry out.